Alright, so I have finally gotten around doing the steel path. I finally have completed it. I think it took me, about 2 weeks, I would say. I don't really know. I didn't really check it out, but it seems like that's what it took. And yeah, I finally did the steel path. We finally got these things. This thing is alright. I mean, the emotes are good. The statues look pretty cool, but these are the stuff you could get. But honestly, it was pretty hard. It was not. It was pretty challenging. I'm not gonna lie. It was something that I didn't really think that it would take me like this long to kind of complete. I thought I could get it in a week, but I was very surprised. But the reason I'm also making this video is I did complete it solo by myself, which I'm definitely really proud of. I didn't really think that I was actually going to be able to do it by myself, and I've completed it solo without actually without the help of anybody other than like one mission. There was one interception mission, the first Earth mission, I think, that I couldn't really figure out what to use but interception, but I finally figured it out, and I finally have completed it solo, steel paths. So yeah, today I'm going to be showing you what frames to use, what things to look out for, and yeah, let's get into it. Alright, so the first missions that I want to talk about are going to be the ones that I think that you could do with basically, I would say, any type of frame. These are the missions where you don't really have like an objective to like defend basically, or to basically do anything. I think these missions you could do by yourself a lot easier. So the missions I'm talking about, of course, are first exterminate, pretty easy, you can use any frame. Hijack, even though it's probably going to be harder with other frames, I would say just run an Anaros for that. That's pretty easy. You got sabotage, you got spy, you got survival, which I think you could also use anything. Now here we are only talking about passing steel path here. I don't want people to get confused about the fact that I'm telling you this is the way to farm like steel essence. This is not what I'm saying. I'm just saying if you just want to pass through the steel pad, don't really want to, if you're just a casual player, you just want to complete steel pad, that's all you want to do. You don't really want to farm steel essence. This is like the perfect way to kind of do it, and you can also, I think I missed rescue. You could do rescue with any frame. And right here I'm using Atlas with my one punch build that I just put out, and I was just doing survival, and I found it pretty good. I mean, honestly, most of the missions you can do by yourself. There's only a few missions that you're gonna go like, I wish I could have like other people or other people with me, but those are the missions that really you have to worry about. Other than that, like exterminate, hijack, spy, survival, sabotage, rescue, those are pretty easy to do. Now, assassinations are a little bit of different thing. You can do, I would say, most of the assassinations by yourself. I think there are ones that I saw a lot of people talking about. Wayheck was kind of hard, but it was like alright to me. Honestly, what you want to use for like assassinations has to be just a really strong kit gun. So anything like, I've been using the Tomb Finger secondary, not the primary. The Tomb Finger secondary with the Pax Charge, and just had a crit build on there, and it was doing pretty well with assassination. So you don't really have to worry about assassinations that much with that. Even if like something like Killer the Tame, I did her. She was a little bit tough, but honestly it was pretty easy to do. And also, if you just have a good melee build, you're gonna be able to go through steel pad pretty easily. By the way, like, I would definitely say get like a ribboned melee. It's gonna be really helpful, because I was using my melee a lot. Basically, I would say I was using my melee the first half of the steel path, and then I just started using my Tomb Finger secondary, and that just kind of helped out a lot more too. So yeah, melee is pretty good. Melee is probably the best weapon to kind of use in steel path, but Other than that, I don't think there's anything other than that. Yeah, there's some assassinations are gonna be hard. I think the hardest for me was the Rokalolist, that flying fuck. But other than that, yeah, it's not gonna be that hard. The only hard part about is gonna be, you know, enemies. But other than that, I think it should be good. And yeah, that's for the most of the missions, I'd say. So other than those missions, the one mission that I've seen a lot of people talk about that is very hard to do solo has to be the interception. Now, the frame I've found to be the best for interception, if you want to do it by yourself, has to be a Nova. Now, I actually don't have a pretty like good build on my Nova. I actually have a pretty cheap build, to be honest. I only have put like 2 Forma on it, and it's like a normal build. You just have like a lot of duration, and you know that gives you like those I think you can get like 19 or 20, I don't know. I have like 19 of those stars, and then that gives you the maximum amount of duration, which is what you need to get your 4 going. And here, as you can see, I'm using my 4 and my 1 together, because your 1 gives you damage reduction and your 4 can slow enemies down, which is really what you need in an interception. So it kind of like, you kind of stop enemies from basically kind of moving, and that can help you out with basically dealing with you know, enemies moving around and basically capturing all these points. Now the other thing which is really good about Nova has to be her second. The second can actually do pretty good damage if you actually have a weapon that can dump all that damage in there. So as you saw right there, I had my second going, and I just shoot my Tomb Finger on there, and it just basically works. I have used it on every single interception. I have not had any fail. I've done every single interception straight away. First time, there was no fucking nothing. And yeah, Nova is pretty good. Nova's probably the best for interception, I would say. You know, I had Nova for a while, and I just kind of forgot about her. I was just like, yeah, whatever, I have her. I've had Nova for so long, and I didn't really put a build or anything on her. But honestly, she's really good for interception if you just want to do by yourself. I think it's going to be the weapons I would say to use have to be, of course, the Tomb Finger kick gun. That thing just can dump out a lot of damage. And I would say melee is probably not going to be the best bet. I would just say be wary of that. You know, you can get one shot, even though like the steel path enemies are kind of crazy for some reason. I kept getting one shotted a lot in the void for some reason, but I don't know what to do about that. I just kind of, you know, I barely passed that one actually. That's the only one that I kind of had a problem with. But other than that, yeah, I would say if you want to do, if you're looking to do interception solo with Steel Path, I would say go and get yourself a Nova. Now, the other mission I think a lot of people are going to have trouble with has to be, of course, mobile defense. So I've actually have always used this frame for mobile defenses, even in sortie levels, even in normal levels. I just like the frame a lot, and that has to be Baruch. Baruch is really good at like defending objectives like this, because number one, his third is really good because it disarms enemies, and then he can also put enemies to sleep. So there's like 2 CCs going. You can crowd control enemies with these 2 of his abilities. And his fourth is really bonkers. I mean, his fourth does a lot of damage. I think his exalted weapon is probably like the best weapon in game in terms of like outputting damage. And also because if you don't have his, I think, augment called Reactive Storm or something like that, I would say go and get it, because this thing hits really hard. And especially at like the Steel Path enemies, they just go down very easily. So yeah, the mobile defense is really good with Baruch. I don't know. I've been using Baruch forever. Also, another thing, now I don't know if it actually gives the defense module thingy damage reduction, but you can actually see it in the thing. You can actually give your daggers to the mobile defense module. I don't know if it actually works. Like, I don't know if it actually gives it damage reduction or not. I kind of doubt it because I've seen it take the same amount of damage, to be honest. If it does give a little bit of damage reduction, like 10% damage reduction, which I think what Baruch gets with each dagger, and I think after like 10 it just it only goes up to 90%. So I don't really know if it actually gives like that damage reduction or not, but honestly I would say yeah, Baruch is not only fun but also very useful when it comes to mobile defense. Now, the one mission that was probably the hardest for me to do had to be defense. I don't know. It was very like circumstantial, to be honest. Like some missions I could do it without the pod taking a lot of damage, and some missions I just could not do. Like defense is probably the only mission type that I've failed like probably 2-3 times, and other missions I've done them pretty easily, but defense was the only one that I couldn't really figure out like what frame to use. So I decided that I'm just gonna go out on a limb and just go for Saren, just because she can give like a lot of damage, and also because I kind of like forgot that you can actually use miasma. Like I run like this Sanctuary Onslaught build on my Saren, so I never really use my Sarens for like miasma a lot. So I just forgot that you can actually just have like corrosive and viral damage going on, which is like basically like both are like really good damage types. So I kind of was really just struggling with defense, and then I was like, okay, you know what, I think I'll just use Saren. So Saren, I would think, is probably like your best bet when it comes to defense. I don't really know if there are other frames out there. I tried Nova, but the weapons that I have, at least couldn't really put up with all the damage that was coming from all the guys, and I was also getting one-shotted with Nova. I even tried Baruch, and sometimes Baruch actually worked. Like sometimes Baruch was working pretty fine, like you can disarm enemies and all that, and then sometimes it would just it would just not working out. I think the reason is like you can use, I would say, Baruch in like close range thing, like something like a Hydron, or what else defense is there, which is like very small map. Like anything that you go from like the new Corpus defense, which is what I'm doing right here. This is like a pretty big map. There's enemies are very spread out, so it's really hard to kind of get all the enemies disarmed or even put them to sleep and all that. And I would say even Io was a pain in the fucking ass. That thing was really hard to do. So yeah, I just kind of decided that, you know what, I think Saren is probably the best bet. I just want to complete it. I don't ever want to do this ever again. And because also the other reason I have to say that I'm also using Saren, not like anything like a Wazarin, because the Wazarin cannot heal the defense pods anymore. I think they reverted that Wazarin. I think they debuffed Wazarin before and they buffed it back again. They were like, okay, you can heal allies, but now the defense pod doesn't actually count as an ally, so you cannot heal the defense pod with Wazarin. So that's why I have to use Saren and just make do with this damage. And if you probably have a better frame that you could use, I think you could probably find a better frame. But yeah, that's all the missions. I think pretty much. I think I covered all the missions. Let me see if there's any mission that I'm missing. Arena is gonna be a little bit hard. I just use my Anaris and I just use my Maven Riven build, which on my Maven I have like damage per chance and attack speed, and I have like a sword stance on it, and it's it worked out pretty well. It was pretty hard, I would say, because I think Arena goes from like 140 to 160 to 185, the last arena. So Sedna is going to be a little bit hard, I guess. And another thing I do want to point out, this is something that I don't know why a lot of people don't know about this. For completing Eris, you don't actually have to do the Jordis Golem assassination and the Alad V assassination. Those are optional. And also the Index is optional for completing Neptune. So if you didn't know about that, don't bother even doing those. I did not do those at all. I'm not even going to try. Let's be honest. Index at Steel Path is going to be just a shit show. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I think I covered it. I think I got everything. I don't really remember. Yeah, I think I got everything that I kind of wanted to get into here. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I kind of enjoyed Steelpath, but even though like the rewards are not that great, let's be honest, I hope they add some new rewards that you can really go for. Like Kuva is good, I guess, but the ephemera, the 85 fucking Steel Essence ephemera doesn't look that good. So yeah, I hope they add something new for the rewards. But yeah, that's about it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one.